Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We're making it work. I'm Jimmy. If you're new here, we do a lot of tool review videos. We do a lot of day in the shop videos. We also do truck accessories, project truck videos, all kinds of things. Anything automotive related on this channel if you're new here. Today, we're going to put a Mostplus tonneau cover on my son's 2024 Tundra Hybrid Limited. If you have a Tundra, you've watched any of my other videos, I put a bed cover on mine. Is a different brand, and a customer of mine had a Mostplus tonneau cover on their truck. I had never heard of it, so here it is. I'm going to put one on my son's truck too. This is a tri-fold hard cover. We're going to open this thing out, take it out of the box, see what it looks like, and get it installed in this video. Stay tuned. It is pretty heavy. Let's get this thing out of the box. It probably weighs, I don't know, 100 pounds or so, I would guess. Something like that. It appears very well packaged. Mostplus has a website where you can check out their products. They make a lot of other things besides bed covers. All kinds of truck accessories. Always cut away from yourself. You might know that, but just in case, never cut towards your hand. They have this thing very well packaged. It should open up. That's interesting. These things protect the corners pretty well, it looks like. Got some styrofoam protectors. And they did a real nice job of packaging this thing. It's all assembled. We do have some foam for weatherproofing around the sides. We've got a little bag we're going to open up. These are the clamps for the track rail. Instruction books. A lot of us have a bad habit of not using instructions, but we're going to use instructions. I always like to give them a quick glance, see where they want the rubber placed. Please check components. For a Ford truck, please use stick tapes on the front of the bed. Basically what they want is, if the bed in the front and the sides is a different height, make sure you use that foam. What we'll do too is have a look around, see what the height of the bed looks like across the front and the sides. The front is slightly lower in this truck as well. At the end of the instructions, it mentions these special SPBC 1005 for Tacoma, Tundra, and Gladiator. So there's a rail adapter that goes in the truck's bed rail. They mean it when they say you need it. Let's open this package up and see if that's what's inside here. Very carefully. Yep, that's my my bed rail brackets. Clamp TY4 with track rail system. Comes with an Allen and the 4 aluminum brackets. So what we'll do is we'll slide these 4 adapters into our truck bed rails. I'll show you that. Then we'll get this laid on the bed. Pretty easy installation, but it always helps to see someone do it when you're going to do something like this yourself and you haven't done it before. His truck does have the factory bed liner, which has a lot more grip than my truck. His truck also apparently came with extra hardware. I'm guessing he was carrying something for work. Let me get this all out of here. I'm going to clean this out before we put that bed cover on, but I doubt you have an interest in that. Well, this will go in here facing this way. These just pop out. And we're not going to tighten these down yet. One's going to go towards the front, one's going to go around here. About a third of the way back, since it's 3 panels. It's 2 on each side. Facing this way. If the Allen's touching, just give it a twist. Comes with an Allen key, pretty handy. Me being a mechanic, I got plenty of tools surrounded by them, but came with one. Just use theirs. I don't have to go to my toolbox. Try not to let this fall out, so I turn it the least amount out that I can. Now put this in before we forget about it. Nothing worse than driving away and saying, did I put that clip back in? Same thing on the other side. Get this all cleaned out and we'll get that cover on here. This is the front on the bottom, so it's going to go this way. This is best if you have a friend, but if you don't have any friends like me, do it on your own. Actually weighs substantially less when it's not in the box. Clean up our mess. Keep the instructions just in case, for you never know who's going to want to know how things go. We got some more hardware in here. Before I attach this too much, we're going to see. I don't believe I need this because there's some rubber spacers in the front here. There's a pretty good piece of weather stripping. You see that? Very nicely done. That should take care of that gap. It's only this much of a gap, and that weather stripping is about that high, so it'll compress and be pretty much watertight. These are never 100% watertight. They're 90-95%. So you'll get a little water here and there, but the fact that the truck bed does this, any water does come in will be below. So you don't want to put terribly fragile things in here like computers and stuff and leave them indefinitely, but it helps. Of course, if you're going to have anything that's higher than this, fold the bed cover forward or remove it altogether with the help of a friend, or by yourself if you feel motivated like I am today. Let's slide this thing forward. Look at the sides, check the distance on the sides. I think that's pretty good. And get this box out of the way. Now what I'm doing is looking at this on this side and this side. Then in the front, I've got probably a 1/2 inch so that seal is centered. Now I'm not positive. I have to unfold it, see how far it's going to go back on the tailgate. Make sure we're going to cover the whole bed opening. Now, get this clamp about where it's happy. This just pops into a little snap for when you take it on and off of your truck. Slide it into the place you need it. Now you want this fairly straight up and down, if you can see it like this. Fairly straight up and down. It can come out a little further. This channel lets it come all the way over if you want. I'm not tightening this yet. I'm going to have to take this back off. I want to get this snugged up and unfold it so I can do my tailgate measurement. And we'll come back in here and finalize this afterwards. It's probably pretty close, but I'm not sure yet. Just a little bit of tension on it so this doesn't move around. Same on this side. And there is obviously a margin where you can move this back and forth. This doesn't have to be dead center, just what I prefer. Once this is snugged up, we'll get this unfolded. Now if we disconnect or discombuberate these two little latches, we can fold this back pretty easily. These are good for if you got to make a short trip with something that doesn't have to have this room in the front. You can just fold these forward and clip it there. I wouldn't get on the highway going 75 probably with it like that, but you're around town, you got to pick something up, drop something off, whatever kind of thing. There's my rear latches. They're a little different. The front ones are more permanent, and the back ones are designed that you can just flip them up with no tools and fold it forward. Really nice surface on this, by the way. It's got some texture, but it's not real grippy, which you don't want. You don't want to encourage the neighborhood kids to play on the bed of your truck, right? That's going to be on the tailgate real nice, I think. Let's go ahead and close the tailgate and take a look. That's where I swept all the little nuts and branches. That's fine. That should be about perfect. We got the rubber gasket right on this edge here, nice. Still see the word Tundra, which I like that. We can clamp this down right here. When I put these clamps in, obviously it's going to pull that down. We won't have that gap there. Then we'll show you how these back latches get finalized. Okay, where this one's happy, Should be the same for yours if you're putting on a Tundra. Of course, they make these for all kinds of trucks, but on the Tundra, there's not quite an 1/8 of an inch back from the bed edge on both sides to make sure it's straight. Then you know everything's pretty straight this way. So now these rear latches are pretty easy because we already know we're centered. So once I get that lined up, we'll button this one down. And I don't tighten these crazy because it'll scar up the rail. So once it's snug, that's it. Nothing too crazy. It's going to, when this pulls up on it, it's going to wedge it so it's not going to go anywhere. You can adjust these handles for length. And you want to get it to where it's going to have some tension but not be really crazy, if that makes sense. To give you a measurement, you want probably 5-6 pounds of force to close this. Line it up so it's pretty straight this way. I'm going to start off with it about an 1/8 of an inch above the clamp. And we'll see how good that works. Right around there. I want a little more tension than that. So I'm going to go 2 more turns. A little more tension than that. This is where you're getting a feel for how much tension you want on it. You have to be comfortable with it, but it takes a pretty good amount of force. You want to pull the bed cover down pretty well. That's perfect right there. Do the other side. No gaps. Let's get the light. Now, the more watertight you want this, the tighter you have to make that, of course. But I want it comfortable to open and close. It doesn't have to be a ridiculous amount of force to me. It comes with some spare hardware. Another feature this has that I really like, pretty much a surprise looking at through the instructions and stuff, but I'll shut this light off so you can see. Shut that light off. There's a light right there. Oh, shut this light off too. And there's a light over here. So in a pitch dark, out in the yard, whatever you need to, if you need to see in back here, that'll definitely help. I'll show you what it looks like when I shut off all the lights in the shop here in a little bit once I get this side buttoned up. Super cool little feature. They're not obtrusive, they don't stick anywhere, it's not double-sided tape to the bed of your truck. Just up in the bed cover. Very cool. It comes with the pins. It comes with the pins for them, and it comes with another plastic tee that goes in here. Yeah, this is a replacement part for up here and a replacement part for here. The two parts that would probably wear. But that's probably going to be for someone who's constantly opening and closing this, I would think. Most people, like, for what my son and I want, you move boxes around at work, for home, you do yard equipment, stuff can go in there, whatever you need. You just want it out of the sun, and you don't want anyone to take stuff out of the back of your truck. These tailgates lock, so when you close the tailgate, if you lock the truck, it won't open. If you don't have the key fob on you, you can't open the tailgate. If it's locked, it locks with the doors. So this gives you a pretty secure, no one's getting in here without doing some major damage with giant pry bars or something to that effect. But I like how it meets the tailgate really well. I think it was about 500 bucks. The harder covers, more expensive than the canvas ones. My previous bed covers were all canvas. And when you go down the road, they flop and they collect water when it rains and things like that. They fade and deteriorate really quick. Where this hard aluminum one, they have a fiberglass on aluminum. This is the aluminum version. This is UV resistant. It doesn't fade. It's hard, so it's not going to be flopping in the breeze on the highway. And it's also much more secure. Anybody with a razor blade or a box cutter can open the soft covers. So this is about twice as much money as a soft cover, but to me it's worth it. Snug as a bug in a rug. Let's see how it opens. It closes good. Drags a little bit open. You just have to give it a tug because it's pushing down on here. Which, that means it's sealing good. This is a pretty forgiving seal. Also looks like pretty decent rubber, not super duper light duty. Let's turn off the shop lights and see what it looks like with the two bed lights on. Quite a bit darker now. They're straight up, you don't even have to see in there, you can feel it from the latch and go over. They're pretty good. It definitely takes you away from pitch black, that's for sure. So the Mostplus bed cover definitely looks pretty cool to me, very well made. Everything's sturdy. The plastic feels sturdy, not flimsy. The aluminum part of the bed cover is definitely pretty solid. So shouldn't have any problem with snow if it snows where you're at. Keep in mind they make these bed covers for all different brands, not just the Tundra. Happen to be putting it on my son's Tundra, but hope this video helps you out installing yours if you wonder, and they're all pretty similar with slight differences as far as the bed rail design, things like that. Keep that in mind. But definitely worth checking out. Links in the description below if you're interested. Torque the like button before you head out if you got anything out of this video. And more than anything, I hope I see you in the next one, because you're awesome.